Hey beautiful people, this video is about what is technical debt in software development. Software development moves really fast and it's moving even faster now with AI, and there's bound to be trade-offs. Tech debt is one of the most common trade-offs, and understanding it, managing it and measuring it is absolutely essential to sustainable delivery and to customer satisfaction. Hi, I'm Jennifer Kenny. I am the best-selling author of The Innovation Mindset. I work with global innovation teams to balance speed, quality and value. Today we're going to unpack what technical debt means in software development and how you can see it before it becomes a problem. Tech debt is one of those things that's very like credit card debt, and it kind of sneaks up on you. So you might go away for a great weekend, have a fantastic time with friends and come back and go, whoops, my credit card debt has now doubled. What am I going to do to be able to take care of it? Tech debt is kind of the same. You might have a hugely successful demo, or you might have a major milestone release. And then after you've gotten over the euphoria of that happening and your customers are thrilled and delighted, and you turn around and go, oops. So what I want to talk to you about today is how that oops happens and how we can begin to actually manage it, measure it, take care of it, and be responsible for it. Tech debt manifests in software in the same way that credit card debt manifests in our credit card. It's a slow, incremental creep. It happens when we have incomplete or poorly written or poorly documented code, when we have lack of automated tests, when we've outdated libraries and frameworks, and when we have skipped documentation, or we have poor quality standards. The reason why it happens is completely understandable. Same way it's understandable for you to want to go and blow it out over a weekend with your friends. But the way that it happens is our deadlines are super tight, and they always seem to be when we're doing software development. We have changing requirements. I've talked in other videos about how that is a simple fact of life, and we need to build that thinking and that practice and those processes into our projects, because that is not going to go away. In fact, it's probably going to become more demanding and need more agility over time. Lack of experience or training or standards for your developers will get you into tech debt. And organizational pressure to deliver features over quality. I think that's a constant pressure, and I think that part of the value exchange that any project lead in a software development environment is looking to do is to balance that pressure with the commitment to quality and to help people understand the relationship between quality and technical debt. There's a huge cost associated with tech debt in the same way that there's a huge cost associated with you carrying an enormous amount of credit card debt. If you think about it, if your paycheck gets halved every single time it comes in the door because half of that is going just to pay the interest on your credit card debt, then what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for long-term failure. There's no way you're going to be able to save in that environment. There's no way you're going to be able to have more fun blowout weekends. And there's also that debt that you're carrying with you everywhere you go. When you're in that type of pressure environment, you're going to make bad decisions. You're going to accept jobs that'll give you more money just because they give you more money, and not because you're going to be able to bring great value to them, or you're going to be able to thoroughly enjoy them, or you're going to be able to grow as a leader in those environments. So think of that on the very personal level of credit card debt. Think of tech debt as a similar sort of experience, visceral experience of liability and risk exposure. So what tech debt does is it slows down the development over time, because you're always, for every hour that you have for software development, what happens is you're spending 30, 40, 50% of that trying to manage your tech debt. And sometimes all you're doing with that is you're getting people familiar with it, you're seeing the magnitude of it, you're freaking out about it, and you're looking at how do you actually measure it, manage it, have a risk register, and begin to really take responsibility for it. What you'll also see with tech debt is a lot of it is habitual. And we talked in another video about certain teams will have eroding quality levels. As you see those eroding quality levels in your software development, if you let them slip because you've got a functional delivery that absolutely needs to happen next month, those eroding quality levels will continue to erode. And so what you'll see is you'll get increased defect rates over a period of time as you allow those poorer practices to begin to seep into your software development team. Now, the interesting analogy, to come back to our personal credit card debt thing, is you get to a certain point where you go, oh my God, I've got so much debt. All I'm going to do is make the minimum payments. And once I make the minimum payments, I'm going to be absolutely fine, because that's really all I'm expecting of myself. If you think about it, you're doing a similar thing with your software developers. If they simply make the minimum level of quality with a whole bunch of defects, you're going to allow them through, and you're going to put that onto your next release, because you've now sort of inured yourself to the idea that technical debt is just an integral part of what it is that you're doing. Technical debt is an integral part of what it is that you're doing, but badly managed technical debt is what's going to bring down your project. If you want to hire really great people onto your team, and you do, as a great leader you do, you're going to reduce your chances of that happening once the word gets out that the quality levels of what you're delivering are eroding, because every single person coming onto your team through their network are going to know that you're carrying a ton of technical debt with you. The same way, if you're looking to have a relationship with someone who has a huge amount of debt, you're going to second guess your sanity as to whether or not you want to have a relationship with them, because it means that they have spending habits that are out of control. If you think of your software development along similar lines, again, that's a great metaphor, you'll start thinking about it in terms of, would I join a team that has an enormous amount of technical debt, knowing that they're making minimum payments on it and they're not able to manage it, and they're going to be carrying that debt with them through to future projects? One of the ways to begin to think about how you quantify, how you measure, how you manage, how you reduce technical debt over time, and honestly, it requires the same level of discipline as getting yourself out of personal debt does. It's hard, but it is absolutely doable, is early detection strategies. So you want to start seeing when you get excited about making the minimal payment. You want to be able to start seeing when you get excited about simply having the tech debt not grow this month. And that's a really good indicator that you're about to get in over your head. So one of the early detection strategies is obviously code reviews, continuous integration tools, and technical debt backlog tracking. Now, lots of people will talk about their backlog and the technical debt backlog, and they'll have a log and they'll feel really good and virtuous about that. The question is whether or not you're putting standards in place to help you reduce the tech debt, standards in place to stop you from getting into more debt. So again, coming back to the personal debt metaphor, really, really useful for this, because if you begin to think about your technical debt and managing it the same way you would your personal debt, you set a threshold. If you say, hey, if I'm spending more than X in a particular month, then I know I'm getting myself into trouble. If you have good metrics around your tech debt, it allows you to be able to see when you're likely to be getting yourself into trouble with your tech debt. As you start doing that, you've got to start recognizing what your comfort level is with your tech debt ratio. And depending on the size of your project, that is going to be a percentage of your project costs overall. As you start doing that, make sure that you set those thresholds for yourself. And once you start blowing through one or two of them, then you know that you've got to spend a lot more time, a lot more energy, and a lot more effort on reducing that debt. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a project that isn't sustainable. And not only is it not sustainable, it's not going to deliver customer satisfaction. One of the things that I found to be super useful is once you start getting a really good handle on your tech debt, you can actually begin to educate your customers about the impact of that. So as they start asking for more and more functionality, and you're looking to negotiate with them, not just flat out say no and not just push back, but actually negotiate with them, tech debt is a great avenue, if they can understand what it is and you can help them understand what it is, to be able to bring to the table in some of those negotiations. Yes, we can deliver this functionality for you. If we do, here's the risk that we're taking on. This is the impact that taking on that risk is going to have for our final productization team, depending on what level of productization you're doing within your project. Or this the impact it's going to have on our customer base as we release this work. This has potential trust implications for our customer base. So if you can help them understand the bigger context of the network of commitments that you are working within, then you will find that you can actually bring tech debt to the table as an integral part of any scope negotiation that you're having, any functionality negotiation that you're having. And as you educate your customers over time, they'll begin to take that shared responsibility with you. It's always going to be primarily yours, but they'll take a level of shared responsibility with you. They'll have more empathy for what it is that you're trying to do with the resources that you have, and they'll be more amenable to doing a higher level of co-invention with you to get what it is that they need while helping you actually reduce your tech debt rather than get into more. I've done a series of videos on this topic because it's a difficult topic, and there's a particular video that I think might be useful for you, which is what is technical debt and how to manage it. Make sure that you watch other videos in the series. Let me know whether or not this conversation is helpful for you, and I wish you the best of luck as you look to get your arms around both your personal and your technical debt. Best of luck and take care.